Tower, November 549er Bravo Alpha is extended left base 3-1 to center, told not below 2,500 still lies by you.
How are you? Brian Kelly. So we're heading to Boston. We just finished up pro camp in the south side of Chicago, and now we're on the way to Boston. We're going to throw out a first pitch tonight at Fenway Park, and then tomorrow we'll all go around my old stomping grounds and see a little behind the scenes of where I grew up.
Foster 854 Foxtrot Lima, Midway Tower, turn left, heading 250, clear for takeoff.
And then we're going to have a camp up at St. John's Prep where I went to high school tomorrow evening. So should be a fun day, fun night.
Paul sent me a location where him and Gary are going to meet.
I've got my esteemed assistant, Beth Rex here, who is typing up, I don't know, whatever she's typing up, the next chore that I have to do. I'm signing cards. We give out cards, autograph cards to all of our campers. So I don't use a stamp, I sign them all.
Midway Tower, traffic departing 31 center and holding turn right heading 090.
Well, the perception is the head coach at Notre Dame and whatever comes with that. I consider myself a Division II guy that worked his way up, had to learn how to do the laundry, used to take an 8-hour bus rides to northern Michigan. Now we're flying on a private plane to Boston. So I've never really had it handed to me, and I hope I kept it in perspective. You said they wanted us at the ballpark at 6.
Kenmore Square.
All right, so we're gonna meet them there. You know, I didn't raise my family in Boston, so this is really about childhood memories more than it is anything else. I don't think it defines who I am, but it did set the direction of who I am. So I think it's more about formative years for me. I think that's what going back to Boston for me is about. How much time do we have before we land?
Probably about 15 minutes.
We used to call this UCLA right here. The University of Chelsea at Logan Airport. When I see the Tobin Bridge was always kind of the demarcation for me. That was the bridge that you went over from the airport. That was always your home. Well, you come into Logan, once you don't see any more water, then you know you've hit the runway.
I'm contact over on 120.75.
120.75.
Their humble means. This is blue collar at its best. I think it says a little bit about being an Irish Catholic from Boston, Massachusetts. Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir.
This is the State House where I used to work here, another gold dome. Every day from Worcester to the State House, I'd have to find the best place to park on Beacon Hill without getting the Denver boot.
And they used to slap them on
They
like
used to
nothing.
slap the Denver boot on you. Oh, there's no parking, so you'd have to find a parallel park. I was a very good parallel parker. That's when Gary Hart lost. And I went back into college and went into coaching. So the Citgo sign is kind of emblematic of Fenway Park. You see the Citgo sign, you know you're getting close to Fenway Park.
Today's program scorecard lineup, only $1. You're gonna get a free Brady Bumpet sticking with the program today.
You know, as kids, we used to go to Fenway. My father, he'd take my brother and I, and that would be our first venture into the big city.
It's right here.
That was always, a pretty memorable experience.
Fenway was a big part of our lives. Well, it was my first game with my father there. My father took me to my first game, and a foul ball hit the seat that I was sitting in. I never got it, but I had a chance if I could have reacted a little better, and that was a long time ago, but it was a special treat for me, and I know Brian's first trip there was a special treat for him.
The first one was 75 World Series. When you're 14 years old and you're sitting down on the first baseline and it's the World Series, that's pretty significant. So I vividly remember coming in the ballpark, and the first thing that you remember when you come into Fenway is how green everything is. It's like incredibly green when you walk up the concourse and you come in here to Fenway Park.
It was the first game between the Boston Red Sox and the Cincinnati Reds.
We were sitting down here on the first baseline, about 15 rows up, and we got here early.
Altiante will face the talented young Ken Griffey. There's a high fly ball.
Ken Griffey hit a foul ball into the stands, and I had just reached up and caught the ball barehanded like it was nothing to it, and sat down. I got a baseball in my hand. I'm as shocked as everybody else is.
It was pretty cool. That's something that a teenager takes notice. You know, when your dad catches a ball with his bare hand, and it's the World Series, and you know he hands it over to you. That moment, you never forget that moment.
Because the kids are all excited. We got a ball at the World Series. So I gave him the ball. I said, you got to save this, guys. This is a World Series. The Red Sox may never get another World Series. So, okay, Dad, okay, we'll take care of it. So I go to work and I come home the next day and they're out in the driveway playing catch with the ball. Well, it's a hot top driveway. And of course, they tend to miss a few now and then. And I look at the ball and the strings are all coming off, the cover's coming off. The ball is like something you throw away. I said, guys, what'd you do to the ball? Oh no, we're playing catch. I said, you ruined the ball? That was a souvenir we were gonna save. Oh, so of course now Brian throws out the first pitch at the Red Sox game, so he's got all the balls he wants.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, our first pitch ceremony continues with a special guest. His world-renowned team will be playing against Boston College in a football game for the ages right on this field at Fenway Park this November.
Brian's making a return trip to Boston as the head coach of Notre Dame. I still have trouble saying that when I hear that. Brian's the head coach at Notre Dame. Wow. You know, it doesn't get old. It'll be great. I'm so proud of Brian that whatever he does doesn't surprise me anymore.
Won't you please welcome the man who was born in Everett, raised in Chelsea, and is now the head football coach for the University of Notre Dame. Welcome home, Brian Kelly.
It's exciting, obviously. Just, you know, the tradition and the history, you know, matches a lot of that of Notre Dame. We look to try to play in those iconic venues. We got to take a selfie. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. And then the backstory is my time there and growing up and going to ball games. But I think the real story is, you know, Notre Dame finding those iconic venues like a Fenway Park to play in.
1, 2, 3. Awesome. Good luck, buddy. Good luck. Thanks, Coach. Great. All right.
I haven't been on this bridge in 30 years, maybe. I grew up in Chelsea, right on Shirtlift Street and Cottage Street.
When we hit 172 Shirtlift, the YMCA will be just after.
My brother and I are Paul and I are 11 months apart, so they call that around here Irish twins. It was always competition because we were so close. You know, he was one grade ahead of me, and there was never a time where we weren't competing in something. So this is the first place we lived, right? Yep. Was it this one here?
It's the one with the pillars.
Right here on the
first one with the pillars.
172.
Right here. 172.
Shirtlift, we were very
all I remember was hitting Chucky in the head with a brick. I hit Chucky in the head with a brick, remember?
Oh, yeah.
I threw a brick. I didn't mean to hit him, but I hit him in the head. I guess I didn't mean to hit him.
Now, if you had signed that brick, Chucky'd be happy about it today.
That's right. That's right. And I sign all my bricks.
Yeah, so you go left and then right.
Yeah, it's on the right-hand side. Yep, there it is. That's it. That's it, 125 Cottage. This is it right here, 125.
We had aunt and uncle downstairs and us upstairs.
Yeah, so we had the whole house. 10 years old, 11 years old.
The start of school through 5th or 6th grade, something like
Yeah,
that.
5th, 6th grade, right around there. There was a little,
It's actually a good size ball field down
right down here. So we always
Hyde
went,
Park.
we went right down here to the ball fields. We can do that, because that's where we always went. We'd take our bikes down to Highland Park here, and the old Sandlot days.
Yep.
You know, you just choose teams and learned how to tackle here.
Oh yeah,
We had tackle
we were
football.
playing tackle football as little kids. That was back when I knew more about football than you.
That's probably true. But yeah, this was all fields here.
Yeah.
All these were
It was
fields.
huge.
I know the first time I got into a fight in the playground, I didn't want to fight him and he didn't want to fight me, but we knew we had to fight. And that was the last time we fought, you know? And that's kind of like in football, you know? We're playing the best schedule, and we don't want to play each other, but we know we got to, and we're going to be better because of it. So that's why I kind of embrace it. I'm not afraid of it. Oh, we gotta go and get some bagels at Cat's Bagels.
Oh yeah, let's do that.
Let's get some bagels at Cat's Bagels. Yeah, we gotta go in.
They were like the first ones to be producing pizza bagels. Remember we were like,
first ones that ever did.
Yeah, we were like, it
Oh,
was,
yeah.
it was like some novel concept.
Oh, yeah.
So we used to come in here and get them hot.
Look at that.
This was where we got the original pizza bagel.
I think if anybody was around when we were a little kid, the place looks the same.
It does. Heck, we used to go in the back there and get them. Do you have any pizza bagels?
It was half.
Oh, beautiful.
Beauties.
They look great. Any two, you pick the two. 1, 2, right there. Thank you. Awesome. Used to come here 30 years ago.
I hate to tell you, it's 40.
Yes. Perfect. 40?
It goes fast.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Gotta get a pizza bagel, right? Thanks, man.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
You used to live around here. Tell us again.
And I come down to get my bagels.
There you go.
You got it. I think living there that you were gonna have to
Survive.
You're gonna have to get the water was right up there. I mean, it was right up below your nose. You know, you knew it. And talked about earlier about competing. I had to compete every day there. You know, we talked about just going down onto the ball field. You have to compete just to have a good day. You needed to compete. You're gonna get your butt kicked. You know, sometimes you don't put it together until you kind of go back to your old neighborhood and see, you know, where you grew up and understand who you are. We're heading to St. John's Prep, where I went to high school. Here was, you know, really trying to find your way, because we weren't from this area, right? So we were trying to fit in here as kind of outsiders. It's a pretty large campus and gymnasium over here, the Memorial Gymnasium. It'll take us out here by the football stadium.
That was the old gymnasium.
So this is their practice field, which was our practice field. This facility
When you
here.
practiced here,
Right.
it was dirt.
It was all dirt. It was all dirt.
We were tougher then, though.
Exactly. Ran the ball.
Right, yeah.
Ran the ball. Well, we're
Good.
going to go see the dining hall, and then we'll be back.
Good.
Thanks, Coach. You know, it was interesting. St. John's Prep is a lot like Notre Dame. Kids from all over, different areas. It was a way of bonding in the locker room where kids were from different cities and different towns, and made for a close football team.
So Brian and I first met at St. John's Prep. I just recall this guy who was so encouraging to the underclassmen myself included, and just being a true leader.
Yeah, John and I went to St. John's Prep together, played football together, played on some successful teams at the Prep. As you know, John's very successful today, running the sports division at Comcast. He's a big shot. But he was a pretty good kicker.
One of the first weeks of practice, I remember running scout team. I was a sophomore, and I remember getting beat up, both physically and mentally to some degree. And I remember Brian coming over to me after practice. He knew I was dejected a little bit and down. He put his arm around me and said, "Hey kid, it gets better. Hang in there, right? Keep your chin up." That's Brian.
It was just one of those times where, you're looking at a guy that's obviously going to be influential in how the game is decided. So, I was using my best, football psychiatry diploma at the time. But I knew he had the right stuff, and it was just a matter of, calming him down before a big moment.
At St. John's Prep, student athletes were in fact exactly that. Students first and athletes second.
All classrooms were right here, right? We were challenged to play here and challenged in the classroom. So it was a good experience for us.
White, all ready to go. Looking good, Coach. Give it up, fellas, for Coach Brian Kelly.
I've been busy during football season, but it's great to be back here. What's most important to me, though, today is we get a chance to work with the future. Yeah, I don't know if the journey ever ends.
Good, look at that.
Because when you're teaching, like today. So wherever that ball comes from, that direction, that elbow's up. Let's get you in a right-handed stance. How about you put your hand down that you're right with? Let's start there.
Go.
Come on back, come on back.
Come on over here.
Show me how you swim.
Come on over here.
Show me how you swim. Show me how you swim. Do you swim at all? Show me how you swim. Keep going, keep going. Show me how you swim. All right, good. Now put this arm on me.
Yep.
Now swim. There you go. Excellent. So you're always adapting and changing, and I think that's the great thing about coaching is that it's a journey. It's a journey that you're always on, and you're always trying to find ways to reach them, and I think that's the great thing about it.
Okay, coaches, it's that time. Hey,
Nice.
That's a great job.
Good job, good job. There was another stop along the way, which was formative as well.
1, 2, 3, Coach Kelly!
Nice,
Great
good
job,
job.
guys. Let's give it up for Coach Brian Kelly, University of Notre Dame, for his final comments.
I carried a lot of water bottles out here, so I got into coaching. Well, I don't think we've ended. I think there's more. This was another step. This was another stop along the way. I wasn't done. I was still cooking when I was still in the oven here. You know what I mean? I was still cooking.
We're going to be back here in the state of Massachusetts in November, and we're going to be playing a great school right here in the state of Massachusetts in Boston College. Thank you so much. Great to be here.
You got to go to Assumption College because there's more work there.
Give it up for Coach K, everybody.
This field at Assumption College, our softball field, this is basically where Brian started coaching. The softball program at Assumption, things progressed and they got to be a better team. He did such a great job, I think. I think they really enjoyed his, his style.
My senior year, I lived over there in this 5-man apartment, and Brian Kelly, my freshman year, right over there in the 4-man. 4A, resident director, Assumption College, softball coach, Assumption College. He was awesome, great, very passionate. We loved him. We were very sad the day he decided to leave, but he left behind a pretty good legacy for us.
Well, Ann was a great leader on my team, and she had that competitiveness that I loved, and just loved having her on the team with her fire and their spirit.
He was fiery. He coached with so much passion. It's like, as a third base coach, you rounded second, you were looking for the signals for what he's doing, and he's constantly jumping up and down, waving you home, pushing your limits, and, whether he got thrown out at the plate or not, he was always, pushing us to be the best we could be, and just we enjoyed what we did with him. He was great.
I learned in coaching women that they played because they loved to play. That was just pure coaching. All you cared about was the preparation in the game. A lot of teams don't have the mental toughness to keep fighting. This team does.
When I watch Brian today, I am very proud of him. And it probably sounds funny for someone who played for him as a student athlete, but what he brought to all of us while we were here to where he is now today there's a lot of pride behind watching him.
He found himself, I think, when he got to Assumption. And I think he realized that he was going to make this, he was going to make it on his own. But I think it was the turning point at Assumption for Brian that became, it showed me that this is what he really wanted.
Well, I think those are the years that you grow up, formative years in terms of work ethic, values. That environment was definitely something that taught me the lessons that I know today about working with all kinds of student athletes. So, I just think that those are formative years for me when I was in Massachusetts. They helped me be the person I am today. So when you go back to where you grew up, it's your moment to kind of start thinking about things. And when you're there, it was a moment to go back in time and remember some of the really neat times that you experienced and how they are with you today.